much as expected, a cut in OPEC oil production, a slightly higher cut than expected as well.
I just will make a note that it's not just 1.5, it's probably 1.8, because there are 300,000 that needs to be cut and that are being cut right now. So before the end of the year, we'll have 1.8 out of the market.
The cut is intended to have the effect of raising oil prices, in OPEC speak, restoring stability to the oil market that has seen a 50% price plunge since July. Good news for most consumer countries amid the shock financial crisis. Bad news, though, for producers, some of whom, like Venezuela and Iran, face economic disaster if prices drop much further. But instead of an instant price rise, the news from OPEC was greeted by a fall. Some analysts had suggested the 1.5 million barrels per day cut wouldn't be enough to beat growing fears of global recession, with demand for oil dramatically down as a result. Further cuts may be needed to see prices rise, something Western governments have condemned, British Prime Minister Gordon Brown for one, calling it absolutely scandalous that OPEC should seek to raise profits in the midst of global financial meltdown. OPEC ministers reject the charge.
I would suggest that it's scandalous to suggest that countries like Nigeria that depend on oil to be looking to reducing the price to levels that can't support sustainable development. I think we should all focus on creating balance and stability in the oil markets, and that's what this decision's aimed at doing.
The sheer speed with which this decision was reached, just under 2 hours of talks here in the building behind me, indicates the real consensus among OPEC members that urgent action was required. But will action like this result in higher oil prices? OPEC certainly hopes so and says it's prepared to do whatever it takes in the future to make sure it happens. Consumers in most non-oil producing countries will hope the oil price stays down. In such financially uncertain times, cheaper oil, which means cheaper prices on oil-related products, is at least some minor consolation. Jonah, Al Jazeera, Vienna.